It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Hey there, Mama Work It Tribe. I'm Marissa Lonick, working mom of 4, lover of all things flow, family, and fulfillment. You're tuning in to the Mama Work It podcast, where we take aim at overwhelm, mom guilt, and exhaustion and swap them out for big dreams, belly laughs, and productivity that actually fits into your life. Every week, we dive into tips, motivation, and a healthy dose of fun so you can slay your day even when you're busy AF. Ready to feel seen, energized, and totally unstoppable? Let's get to work, mama. Hey, mamas. Welcome back to another awesome episode of the Mama Work It podcast. So glad you're here as always. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Marissa Lonick. I am your host and the founder of Mama Work It, where we support women in the juggle of mom life, work life, wife life, fill in the blank life. I'm excited, as I always am when we have guests, but I'm super excited today to introduce you to Tia Graham. Tia is a happiness coach. Yes, please. I love that. Speaker and the founder of Arrive at Happy, which is a platform dedicated to helping women build happiness skills through neuroscience, positive psychology, and mindset shifts. Her work focuses on simple, sustainable practices that fit into real life, especially for busy moms who feel stretched too thin. Tia, I am so pumped for this episode. I don't know anyone who doesn't want to be even just 1% happier. So thank you for being here. I can't wait to dive into this.
My gosh, my, of course. And yeah, 1% happier is a great goal.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about your journey, like how you personally arrived at happy.
Yes. So, it starts really, really early on, actually. And I have a TED Talk that went viral called The Simple Secret of Being Happier. And I encourage everyone to go check it out. In it, I share a story of when I was around 11 years old, I witnessed my father choosing happiness after struggling for several years and making a lot of changes in his life. And he announced this, like, I'm not going to make another bad year. I'm going to make change. And so I saw him say it. I saw him do it. And so I learned, like, okay, this is a choice. I just saw this, my father make a choice. And I use that kind of as an inner compass, if you will. So, when I was really unhappy, I'm from Canada, really unhappy living in minus 30-degree weather. At the age of 20, I moved to Honolulu, like changed schools, changed degrees to get happier and, find my passion. And I had a 15-year career in hotels and resorts as a director of sales and marketing around the United States and in Europe. When I was leading a hotel in Los Angeles, went back to work after having my second daughter, toddler and a baby and was really, really struggling with guilt, anxiety, um, sadness, overwhelm, so much stress, just really, really unhappy. And I was like, okay, my life has changed so much, but I want to somehow figure out how to get back to happy again. And at this point, this is when I started formally researching positive psychology, which is also known as the science of happiness. This is about a decade ago. And I became obsessed with it. And as I was learning about it and getting certifications and becoming a coach and then learning how to teach positive psychology, etc., I remember thinking like, this is so powerful for my life because I was learning it and applying it, learning and applying it. I remember thinking, I need to share this with the world. I need to share this with as many people as possible. And so that's when I created my company, Arrive at Happy. And I started working with people one-on-one, started, speaking, doing leadership training, did my book and TED Talk, and then created a community for high achieving moms called the Feel Good Club. But it really was, this search for me and then wanting to share it. And then by sharing it, it made me even happier.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so important. The Feel Good Club. First of all, I love that name, but that's so important because especially from someone who started her business in sort of the productivity and time management space, I always go back to this place of like, when you feel good, you do good.
Yes.
Like when you feel your best, you're your most motivated, energetic, productive self. And
Yes.
it really starts from that place. So I just love that we're having this conversation. And I love that that's the name of the group.
Aw, thank you. Yes. And of course, it's not always easy and it's not about being happy all the time or feeling good 24/7, especially as a working mom. But you're absolutely right. Our brains operate so differently when we're feeling optimistic and positive and regulated and connected. We work differently, we parent differently, we wife differently, all the different, all the different things. And we do it better. And yet it is hard a lot of the times to make time. And I love that you're productive to make time to do the things that make us feel good and happy, but it's so vital.
It's so vital. Yeah. So I want to talk about a lot of moms listening. We're in a very busy season. Okay.
Yes.
And maybe we feel like this level of happiness is something that will come later. How do you define happiness for the very busy working mom right now?
Yes, yes. Well, I'm you. I have a husband, two kids, and a dog, and both of my children have disabilities. And so and then plus I'm a busy entrepreneur. So I feel you, I hug you, I'm there with you in solidarity. So I define happiness along with the science of happiness. So it is having more positive emotions and more positive in your life than pain. So it's not about not having any pain, but it's about having more positive than pain. Also, number two, it's about having meaning and purpose, whether that be from work, volunteering, parenting, whatever it means to you, but meaning and purpose is vital for our well-being. And then the third pillar, which is newer in the research, is about having different experiences that make you psychologically rich, that make you wiser. So think about more positivity, purpose, and also psychological richness. That's how I define it. And in this busy, crazy season, for me, it's about each day focusing on presence, because we have this monkey mind with like 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day. So whether it's in the shower, have my cup of coffee, drive my dog, those little moments of tuning into my senses. And the more I do that, I definitely feel happier. It's also about taking care of my body, like sleep, food, exercise, and meditation. If I don't do those, I am like, I want to swear, I'm like a witch to my husband. So
you can swear. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. So that is really, really important also. And then And then being really connected to what's important to me. You can call this like values-based living, right? So being very intentional about what I say yes to, what I say no to, how I spend my time, and not going for perfection, but just, tuning into how I want to feel. Um, and yeah, I could share a lot of other things, but those are some. And over the last 5 years, I've been really intentional about doing less and doing more of what matters.
Mm.
So taking a lot out and expanding what's important. And gosh, that's really helped.
Doing less and doing more of what matters. I love that reframe
Yeah.
and approach
Yeah.
because you're not necessarily less busy,
No.
but the things you're doing are way more meaningful and aligned.
Yes. Yes. And so I've spoken at and I attend the World Happiness Summit every year. And every single year, there's so many talks and conversations around death and just how mortal we are, right? Yet we all think we're like, oh, we're going to live to 93. You never know. And so, if someone said you have 6 months to live or you have a year to live, how would you live? Are you kind of like those big rocks? Like, are you taking care of your big rocks? Because email can fill your day all day, every day, right? But would you be like, oh my God, 8 hours of email? Like I got 6 months to, no, right? So, that is another really, and I actually have a little coffin rock that one of the speakers gave me. It's on my bathroom counter. And I look at it and I'm like, okay, I'm alive, right? Just that constant reminder, because life can be so crazy and so hard. But that's like a good centering also.
Yeah. Well, we take it for granted because it's like, well, of course I woke up. I wake up every day, but it's like, well, that's not guaranteed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do take it for granted. So you have to be like focused on not taking it for granted.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think so many moms feel overwhelmed, disconnected, emotionally drained, even when they like have this checklist of all the things they've ever wanted, like the career, the kids, maybe the marriage, the house, the dog, like whatever it is that they always envisioned for themselves, but yet they aren't like they haven't arrived at happy. I'll go ahead and use that phrase since that's the name of your company.
Yeah. So I'll talk about each one. So moms and working moms feel so overwhelmed because they have way too many things to do and way too many things that they're responsible for with work, home, kids, family, self-care, friendship, community, and everything else.
Yes.
And when the list of to-dos and the responsibilities, basically it's over capacity, right? And so um and it's not that any mom, if a mom is like, I'm so overwhelmed, you're not doing anything wrong. It just means that there's too much for your capacity. And so if you want to, and I've been there, especially when I was in the hotel industry with little kids, is you can do this with yourself, with a friend, with a coach, with a therapist. The only person to help you decrease that load, first of all, is you to figure out what is everything that I'm physically responsible for, and then also the mental and visible load. Put that all, like I have an Excel spreadsheet of my entire mental load. The next step then, if you are married or have a partner, is to then, talk through that. And I love the fair play method, is great. But, talking with your boss or maybe with, is it family members, but either taking things off or delegating and sharing the load, because you can absolutely move from a place of overwhelmed to feeling calm and inner peace and grounded, and that you have the capacity to do everything, but you have to make the time to do that. Um, for the disconnected piece, So the number one predictor of happiness for humans around the world across ethnicity, age group, religion, the number one predictor of happiness is human connection. So human connection is spending time with people you care about and who care about you. So this is your friends, family, kids, husband, etc. And a lot of working moms are their days are so filled with all of these activities, and you might be around humans, like in the morning there's humans around or your husband's around, but are you actually connecting, right? And so that's why I'm a huge proponent of, is there anything you can outsource? Like, not everyone has the ability to have like a house assistant or a house manager or a full-time nanny, but maybe you can hire someone 3 hours a week to do your laundry, and then you choose to take that time to see a friend or go on a hike with your husband or play with your kid, whatever. So it's about like figuring out how to have that connected time so that you don't feel disconnected. And this is all about intention and planning, putting in your calendar. Again, no one's gonna do it for you. And because of our phones and the internet and everything, we feel like we are super connected because we have like 700 friends on Facebook, or that's not the same thing, right? Connection is when you're on the phone, when you're doing a FaceTime, when you're doing a Zoom like this, or in person and you're not looking at your phone. That's what we as moms need more of. And the good thing is it doesn't have to be a long time, right? Like I can play with my daughter for 15 minutes on a swing, and it doesn't have to be 3 hours. It's like focused, make her laugh, And then the emotional drained, and I feel this big time. I am a big emotional feeling person, is that we give so much of ourselves to everyone. And we also have mirror neurons in our brain. And so all of the emotions around us are contagious and we take them in, especially our kids' emotions.
Yes.
Right. And so it kind of goes back to the overwhelm of like, we can be emotionally overwhelmed because we only have a capacity for this. And a lot of us don't have the time and or haven't been taught and don't practice how to properly process our emotions, right? How to take that time when we're feeling to pause and go, what's happening in my body? Like those somatic practices. What's going on with my thoughts? How am I reacting? What's triggering me? And so you can figure out what are those emotional drainers and what you need to do to either create boundaries or create space or take breaks or delegate, etc. But this is actually one of my big intentions for 2026 is I want to manage my emotions better, not perfectly, but just get a little better at this. I'm actually reading a book on it right now because I think that's a hard one for moms.
I think so too. I think a lot of us are empaths and we really absorb the energy around us and the emotions around us without even realizing it.
Yeah.
I know I do. And that acknowledgement is a really good first step just in noticing it. So I've started noticing it more and then just, kind of reminding myself like, this is their emotion, not mine.
Right. And I'm not responsible for their emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is hard, right? We want our kids to be happy all the time.
Yeah.
And
you want to fix it. You want to fix it. Yeah. But you know what? I've started reframing in the sense of like, I'm robbing them of a growth experience if I don't let them experience it.
Yeah.
I can certainly be there as a support and like a safe space. But if I don't allow them to go through it and grow through it, I'm really depriving them of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that we want them to grow up having the skills to experience, feel, and get through it. And right. And it builds resilience. Yeah. Last year, I did courses on collaborative problem solving and learned so much just about I'm quite an empathetic person, but I got a lot of new skills on just how to show my kids true empathy and increased validation. And I feel like that is a power tool in like a parent in the parenting toolbox.
I
Um,
bet.
yeah, but and it's hard, right? It's hard to sit and see someone you care about struggle.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. So you often say that happiness it's not an emotion, it's a skill. So what does that mean exactly?
Yeah. So I also love to say that happiness is not something you feel, it's something that you do. And so, in terms of it being a skill, so the first skill is understanding that we all are genetically predisposed to have a certain level of happiness, right? Genetics play a massive part. And that's, yes, there's epigenetics, there's things that can change, but we do all have our genetic code that we're born with, right? And the environments we live in, those are things that are mostly out of our control. But in terms of being a skill, it's understanding that you have agency over two major things: how you think and how you behave. And our brains are plastic. We grow new brain cells all the time. You're not stuck. And so, Dr. Ben Shahar, who used to teach happiness at Harvard, that I studied with, taught me this incredible acronym that is really powerful. And everyone listening, remember this acronym. The acronym is SPIRE, SPIRE. And I want you to think that on any of these, you can build your skills with how you think and how you behave. You can change your choices. You have agency. This is where you can increase your happiness. And you said 1%, let's go for 10%. So SPIRE stands for spiritual well-being, physical well-being, which is your mental health and your physical body, physical, mind and body. I is intellectual well-being. R is relational well-being, so the relationship you have with yourself and others. And then E, emotional well-being, doing things to have more of those positive emotions and also having a healthy relationship with painful emotions. And so in any of these areas of your life, you can build the skills, you can get stronger at how you think and how you behave. And by doing so, it's proven you're going to increase your happiness. So I'll give three little examples, right? So you can think of intellectual well-being. You could choose in 2026 to take a class or read books about something you don't know anything about and become smarter in some way. You're going to be happier because you're doing intellectual well-being. For the relationship with yourself, an example is self-compassion. You can choose to talk to yourself like a friend and give yourself compassion and grace whenever you mess up, right? That's a skill. That's an active choice. Or for spiritual well-being, an example could be that you choose to listen to the universe once a day, or you choose to say a prayer before you go to bed. And there's thousands of choices, like there's thousands of research papers. And so that's why I say it's a choice and knowing how much agency you have. And it's this lifelong journey.
I love that. I love, obviously, as a coach, I love actionable steps. So I love how practical those are. I love how simple and easy those are. And I love a good acronym. I'm kind of nerdy like that. So thank you for sharing.
Of course.
So, last question before we go into our lightning round here. If you had to tell our listeners like one or two or maybe three tops, like simple practices that they could do today to feel happier, even if it feels like an exceptionally busy day, even if it feels like a day where getting to happiness feels really hard because everything feels like it's working against you, what would those one, two, or three tips be?
Okay, so I'm with you. If it's a day where you feel like you have no time and your to-do list is like a scroll, right? Three things I would do is, well, go back before. I would make sure that I get a good night's sleep. It is almost impossible to be feeling positive, feeling well if you're tired. And a lot of moms don't feel like they have the time to get the sleep. Do it. If I were your coach, I would say do it. So that's one. I would make sure at least 7 hours minimum. The second thing I would do is I would move your body a little bit. I sometimes do 7-minute workouts on this app called Seven, or I'll do a 20-minute yoga, or I'll go for a 10-minute walk, right? It's, you don't do an hour Peloton class. I don't have time for that. Just move your body a little bit because it's going to help you get into the right headspace. And a really easy thing I would do, I mean, I have like 50, but another thing I would do is I would write down what you're grateful for on a notebook. So I have a gratitude journal in my bathroom 3 or 4 times a week. I write down as many things that I feel grateful for. And I've just trained my brain to focus on what I have versus what I haven't, or what other people have on Instagram, right? Like, because comparison robs you of joy. So let's do sleep, movement, and gratitude.
Okay. Simple enough. Thank you. All right, Tia, we are going to move on to the part of our show where we call it the lightning round. And I like to just ask our guests really random, personal, fun questions just so we can get to know you a little bit better outside your area of expertise. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. You said you were reading a book. So tell us the title of the book. What is it? And so we can recommend it to our listeners.
Yes. So last year I was diagnosed, actually me and my girls were all diagnosed with ADHD. So the book I'm reading is the ADHD Workbook for Women. That's one. And I'm also reading Mind Magic, which is about manifestation using neuroscience.
Oh, love that. Okay.
It's really good. I recommend.
Adding to cart.
Yeah, really good.
I'm all about that. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? I'm curious what you're going to pick because I want to know if this is like a food that makes you happy.
Yeah. So there's so much research on the connection between food and happiness, and food can make you unhappy or less happy depending on what you eat. I don't know. The first thing that came to mind was nectarines.
Oh my gosh, that's my favorite fruit.
But I love nectarines. And I was at the grocery store yesterday and I was thinking, oh, I can't wait till it's nectarine season again.
I feel the same. Nectarines are my favorite fruit. And I get so sad because they're only in the supermarket like a short time of year. Yeah. But Tia, you're so lucky because you live in California. And when I used to live in California, we used to go and actually pick peaches and nectarines during the season. And it was the best. They tasted so delicious. I haven't picked them yet. Yeah. I bet they grow near you. All right. If they made a movie about your life, who would you want to play you?
Oh, gosh. I've never been asked that or thought that before. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I immediately think of like, who's a brunette actress? I don't know.
Can I say I'm getting some Jennifer Garner vibes?
Sure. She's fun.
She is so cute. And I feel like she is very happy too.
She is. Yeah. I feel like she makes choices. Yes. She's conscious about it. Intentional.
Yeah. All right. Last question. I'm going to alter this a little bit. I usually ask, what's your get it done song? What is your happiness song?
Oh, so I don't actually have a song, but what I do is, and this might be helpful, I put on playlists and types of music based on how I want to feel and the energy that I want in the home. So sometimes it's like super fun dance, like I'm going to dance with my girls, and other times everyone's crazy and I want to like kill everybody, and I'll put on like Enya calming instrumental guitar. And other times it's like Jack Johnson because I used to live in Hawaii. So I use music to set the mood. But one of the things I love to do is go out dancing. One of my best friends lives here. And so maybe about once a quarter, we'll go out and like dance till 2 a.m, which isn't that much, maybe twice a year. And that makes me really happy too.
That's awesome. I don't know when the last time I danced till 2 a.m. was, but those can be some really happy nights.
Yeah. Just with a girlfriend and you can kind of feel 25, I guess.
I feel it internally.
Yeah, totally. I
Yeah.
was just with my mom, and my mom's 75, and she's like, I feel 45. And I was like, yeah, I feel like 28. So,
Nice.
yeah, yeah.
The gene pool is strong. All right, Tia, tell our listeners where they can find you, learn more about the Feel Good group, Arrive at Happy, all the amazing things that you offer. And we will definitely link your TED Talk in our show notes as well.
Thank you. Yes. So, and I have a book called Be a Happy Leader for, I know you have leaders that listen too. So the best place is my website. It's my name, Tia Graham, TIA Graham.com. I'm also super active for working moms on Instagram, Tia E Graham. And then on my blog, I have lots of free resources, tiagraham.com/blog for working moms. So yeah, those are the best places.
Amazing. Well, thank you. Thank you for bringing some happiness to the show today. We appreciate you.
Such a good way to start the year. Thank you again for having me.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Mama Work It podcast. I hope you feel empowered, inspired, and ready to take your next step. If this episode spoke to you, share it with another amazing mama, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. It helps us show up wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to head over to mamaworkit.com for free resources, coaching support, and new ways to momage your days as a busy mom. Until next time, keep on working it, mama.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Tap the banner to learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.